Hi there, it's Leanne Phillipson, registered nutritionist, and it's Monday today. How was your weekend? If you can hear me, we're just using the microphone. So if you can just type in that you can hear me, and Logan, my tech expert behind, is going to jump on to Sprout Right's Facebook page and make sure that she can actually hear me too. Because if we're putting this into there, hello there, thanks so much for joining. If you could just quickly say hello, give me a wave to make sure that you can hear me, that would be tremendous. We're just trying to get a little bit of a better sound going on from. Frying pan from burning. We're just trying to make sure that we've got some good sound going on the Facebook page, because a few people have said that they couldn't quite hear me. So I hope that is coming through. How's that doing there, Logan? You were going to go to Sprout Right's Facebook page to make sure that you could hear on your phone. So thanks so much. Okay, so welcome to Cook Together. My name's Leanne Phillipson. I'm a registered nutritionist, and for about the past, 30, 28, 29 days, we've been cooking together. So I hope that you've been along. Maybe this is your first, maybe this isn't your first, but you're here today. So thanks so much, because cooking together is way more fun than just trying to do it on your own. Cooking for other people sometimes is a little they're not maybe so grateful, or you kind of like, I just don't want to, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't know, nobody's saying thank you. So when we cook together, then that's a really good thing. So hey there, Kim, how are you doing? Can you just give me a little thumbs up and let me know that you can hear me from your end, please? Just because we've got a mic plugged in so that people can hear us better. So I've got the thumbs up from Logan. So thanks so much. Okay, so what are we gonna make today? Today is Monday, so in the theme of Meatless Monday, I thought that we would do something that's plant-based. And although the recipe for wilted greens with creamy miso sauce, you can see that I've got all my planned recipes. I'm getting better in the planning department. So in my book, Sprout Right Family Food, which is available from sproutright.com, you'll find the recipe. Also, every day on social media, I'm posting the ingredients that you need for to make whatever recipe I'm going to make. And then if you head over to sproutright.com/cook together, give us your email address, and then we'll send you the full recipe so that you would have that every single day. Of course, I'd love it if you bought my book. I'd love it if you had all the recipes that are in there, because they all go well together, and I'm always suggesting, why don't you put this with this or this with that? But you don't have to, nobody has to, but I just want you to be able to make something maybe that's a bit more nutritious than what you were thinking of, and also to give you some inspiration. So the wilted greens with creamy miso sauce is a fantastic side dish. I'm gonna show you how to make it up into, hi Crystal, it's so good to see you again. We're gonna make these wilted greens, and we can turn it into a really lovely plant-based meal. So you can just have this fabulous sauce, which is so tasty. Oh my gosh, this is wait till you make it and wait till you taste it. So we're gonna make up the sauce first. So I've got a bowl right here, and Logan very kindly got all the ingredients out for me. So I'm gonna show you some of them. So the first ingredient, can you just close my laptop down please now? The first ingredient is incredibly important for this, and this is what gives it kind of the oomph that we need. And this is miso. This is a miso paste. And you may not be able to see this, but it's called Tradition Miso. I do get this from my local health food store, kind of. It's not really a health food store, it's actually a health supermarket or a natural supermarket called the Sweet Potato. And this is called Mellow, and it's organic brown rice. So this is our favorite. There's also a barley one that you can get. There's all sorts of things. You can find it, I think, in like a squishy pack miso paste. So this is one that's really important for this. And the beauty of what miso does is it's a fermented food. So you know how I'm always talking about probiotics in my boost box that I've got over here. I have the Bio Boost, which is a probiotic, and it's so incredibly important for your gut. so important to balance your immunity, because 80% of your immune system is found in your gut. So when we have more good bugs, more probiotics from something like miso, miso is really important. You've got kefir, you've got yogurt, kimchi, what else is there? Kombucha. All of those do help, but I still recommend taking a probiotic because it just has the billions and billions and billions of beneficial bacteria in there, which is so important for our immune system. It's important for helping to absorb vitamin K, which then helps to get the vitamin D into the right parking spots. So everything that I try and talk about, I tie back into how it's going to support our bodies. So miso is a really important part of this. So I've got my miso here, and I'm just going to put that in. And this is something that if, let's say that you are sick, get sick, or just under the weather for whatever reason, or you haven't been eating well, you haven't been sleeping well, and you're feeling like, oh, I just need a boost. I need something that's really nutritious, but I don't really feel like going to make like a great big salad. And Leanne's always talking about grating those damn beets into it. Miso is fabulous. There's so many nutrients in this. So you can just take a spoonful of it and mix it into some boiled water and slightly cooled. Because of the probiotics that in here, we don't want to make it too, we don't put it in boiling water. So sometimes I just take this and I add it into some water and then just have a drink. So miso is incredible for giving your body lots of nutrients. It's really lovely and it's warming. Whenever I make chicken noodle soup, just before I serve it, I take some miso and then I'll mix a little bit in. It does take a bit of mixing because obviously it's quite a thick paste. So just take a little bit of the broth and then sort of smooth it out and then throw it back in. So it gives a sort of salty flavor because it's from soybeans. And, this one's from brown rice. So it's just fantastic. I can't say enough good stuff about miso, and just having that in your fridge. This is actually kept in the fridge because it's one to grab should you need it if you're needing to give yourself a bit of a boost. Next is apple cider vinegar. So apple cider vinegar, when you see all of this at the bottom, you think, what? Is there something wrong with your apple cider vinegar? No. This one, the one that I use, this is Phil Singer's. You can also get Bragg's. Another fermented food. So good, again, for the gut. And where there's all this stuff hanging around at the bottom, it's actually something called the mother. And this is where a lot of the probiotics come from as well. So we've got a double whammy of probiotics going on in this already. So just with this, I'm gonna start to kind of mash the miso paste a little bit. So this is exactly what I do when I take a bit of broth and I'm adding it into chicken noodle soup. That is just a go-to that my kids have, that I have, whenever we're not feeling great. So even if they don't really want the chicken or the noodles or the carrots or the celery, then you can just add in the miso and know that you're really giving them quite a boost of added flavor and added nutrients, added probiotics. But try not to boil it. That's really important. So that's kind of, it'll get better. So the next one, what was this one, Logan? That was some honey? Mm-hmm. Excellent. They all kind of look rather golden and the same. So raw honey is going in here, and raw honey is, what do you think? Immune boosting too, even though it's a, you kind of think, well, that's a sweet thing. Well, raw honey, because it's not pasteurized, still has tons and tons of enzymes in it. And those enzymes help. They help on a sore throat. So Manuka honey is best known for that. But if you have a sore throat and you have some raw, local is always better, honey hanging around, then you can just have a little spoonful, or you can put it into some warm water with some lemon. My garlic balm that I suggest that everybody makes when they're coming down with something is raw garlic into a cup with some boiled water. Also, you can add in the honey and some lemon and drink it all. And especially right now, we're not seeing anybody, so it doesn't matter if you stink of garlic because you just drank a whole mugful. But it's just incredible. So, I'm not sure if you can hear that very yappy dog that I can hear. I hope not. Maybe because we have a mic now, it's possible. So here I have some toasted sesame oil. If you don't have this, don't worry. It does really, it does enhance this quite a bit, but if you don't, like I just bought this when I went shopping the other day, so yeah. So if you've got it, great. If not, if you have some sesame oil, put that in. If you don't, just use, if you've got peanut oil, you can use that for different flavor. You can use olive oil. It's just gonna be ever so slightly, just a different taste. And then here, I actually have some mayonnaise. This is like a keto mayo that I found from somewhere. But in this jar that I have, what did we use? A little bit of, we use this for some banana bread that I made on the weekend, like a coconut flour banana bread. God, I had to use the bananas. The bananas just keep going off because we're not really eating them, but God, they go into all sorts of things, into the peanut butter protein muffins. If you haven't found that on YouTube yet, search for Cook Together on YouTube and under Sprout Right's channel, and then that's Hadley making the peanut butter protein muffins, and it's so funny. So make sure you go check that out. So this is some coconut milk from a can, and we only needed like 1/4 cup for that. Hadley made these yesterday, and so the rest of it's in here. So if you want to stay away from mayonnaise for a reason of an egg, you're trying to stay away from eggs or anything like that, I'm sure in this there's actually no eggs. I don't remember what the ingredient list is, but Logan measured this out for me while I was just getting ready. So I'm going to put this in. Sorry, sweetheart?
The recipe's right there.
Oh. Yes, it is right here, but that would require me to put on my glasses, which means that then we're gonna get a bounce off of it. And, you know, so Logan's gonna come and read the recipe for me, just in case you need that. How much is it?
1/4 cup of miso.
Quarter of a cup? Okay, come on into the shot. You can just see your shoulder. There she is.
No.
Yeah, Miss behind the camera. No, she's very good in front of the camera. She's a very good public speaker. So, carry on. 1/4 cup of
Miso.
Okay.
1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar.
Yep.
2 tablespoons of honey. 1/4 teaspoon of garlic. 2 tablespoons of sesame oil. 1/3 cup of mayo. 1 teaspoon of coconut oil, and 4 cups of spinach, baby kale, or Swiss chard, roughly torn.
We're getting on to that. We got to make the dressing first. Thank you very much, sweetheart.
You're welcome.
So if you didn't get all of that, then please know that you can go to sproutright.com/cook together. You'll find this in my book on page, I think that might say 280. I believe. So this could also, so you could also whiz this up in a blender if you didn't want to stir as much as I am. I wanted to do this in an open bowl. I would probably suggest doing it like in like a measuring cup or something, just so that it doesn't slop everywhere, but I wanted you to see what I was doing. So that's this. It would be a lot easier to put in the very liquid coconut milk too. So I'm just gonna put that off to the side. Now I've got some kale here, and greens can sometimes be a bit of a tough sell for, sometimes not at all, and sometimes they are. So here I have some spinach, which I'm gonna put in kind of second to what I'm doing, and then I'm going to just de-rib my kale. So that means you'd hold on to some of these, and then you just kind of pull along the ribs of these. Then I actually hold on to these, and then I throw them in my bag that I'm gathering scraps for to make the meat broth for you one day. That requires me to film that and then come back to it a little later. Because I want to show you the end result. So a bit trickier to do on a live. So that's basically what you need to do to de-rib your kale. I'm going to put this back on. I've got some coconut oil right here that I'm going to put in just to help my wilted greens a little bit in there. And then I think also was there garlic going in here? Is garlic going in the pan?
I don't know.
Okay, can you read the recipe for me again, please? Yes, I need my daughter to read it. I have my glasses sitting here, but
Your glasses are right here.
I know. Thank you.
Place the miso in a medium bowl. Whisk the apple cider vinegar, honey, garlic, sesame oil, and mayonnaise.
Okay, garlic's going in here then.
Yes.
Okay, Mom got it all wrong. That's why I was keeping it. You could just totally take this and put it in there, or if you want raw garlic, you don't really care what you smell like. then that's totally fine too. Okay,
Good going, Mom.
back at it. So I'm gonna just rip this up, and I've got a bowl here. See, she's an assistant in front of and behind the camera. That's fantastic. What's happening? Oh, we're burning my boost box. That's not so good. Oh, never a dull moment.
Mom!
Yes, she's got me the. So this is turning into a bit of a family affair. But you still can't see her because she's behind the scenes.
That's not intentional.
No, she's not trying to hide at all. Okay, so the recipe calls for about 4 cups of greens, and guess what? I'm gonna do more than 4 cups of greens because, you know, why not? That's just me. So I'm gonna peel this and put it into my garlic press. Yes, sweetheart? Oh, okay. So I don't need to keep these for my bag of scraps. I've got some onions going on in there. I've got kale, all of this going on in there now. So just fantastic. I am actually going to only put 1 of these in here because I have a slightly garlic sensitive child. So I'm gonna put 1 in here, and then the other one I'm gonna throw in with the greens because it's also really quite nice to have a little bit of cooked garlic. So, but still super immune boosting. If you can get any amount of raw garlic. If I'm making, like when my kids are not well, their go-to food other than the soup is definitely boiled egg and soldiers. So that's showing off my British background. And then sometimes if I'm just trying to get them to have an egg or something like that, then I'm also making some garlic toast, some garlic bread. But when I do it, I take the bread, I put on the butter with raw garlic in it, and then I broil that. So it doesn't completely toast the garlic. So they're still pretty good and smelly after all of that. And okay, so that's nice. That's nice and mixed up now. So into my frying pan, which I believe is still fairly hot, I'm just gonna squeeze in one of those 2 garlics. And I think you can almost just about see me still. So we will put this on, and then because I've got just kale and spinach, I didn't get collard greens or any of the others, but if you're not too sure about how to use or what to do with Swiss chard, this is a great place to do that. So I'm gonna put the kale in first because kale is much more robust. It's, you know, when you put spinach into anything, it just wilts and it goes down really quickly. So this pile of spinach that I have here will end up being like that. It'll like be absolutely tiny. When you're using kale, then it's going to still hold some of its structure. And what's a really nice way to do this, and I may not have any, is to just turn it with tongs. So slightly cooking the garlic here a little bit. Let me just turn this up. And then in goes the kale. And a really great way to deal with kale. Logan, can you grab me some tongs, please? Oh, it's so great to have her here. And then, I'm not sure. And then really, if you had tongs and you would just sort of keep on turning them, because when you do that, then it gets the garlic all the way through, some of the oil all the way through. So it's actually a really great way of cooking your greens. I think they might still be a bit, need a little bit more time. But you can make these as big or as small as you want. You can cook them as fast or as slow as you want. You can give your kale a bit of a massage first. If you don't want to wilt the kale and you want to just have this sort of as it is, just sprinkle on a little bit of olive oil and then give it a massage. Like just give it a squeeze. Kale loves to be massaged, and it tastes so much better when you massage kale. It's just one of those things, and it sounds a little bit weird to give your kale a massage, but honestly, it's really good. Don't worry, sweetheart, it's totally fine. This is good. can get this down to a really, like a huge wilt where it's totally down to kind of nothing, or like as flat as kale chips would be, for instance, or not, doesn't really matter. And then I'm gonna pour in the spinach because that really doesn't take much time. And what it looks like I've done in some other videos, I've put a little bit too much in. It will honestly just go down. So you don't have to worry about, there we go. So I'm just turning with these tongs all the greens. And then as soon as this is done, you can put it into a bowl, pour on the dressing, and also what I have here, sitting off to the side, are some chickpeas. I have some cannellini beans, which I use in the beanie green dip recipe, and those are white kidney beans, and I don't know, they're not as beany as, the outside is not as hard of the cannellini beans as the, as red kidney beans, I find, personally. So just give that another couple of minutes. So if you wanted to make this a whole, complete meal, just from the wilted greens, then you could take some beans, you could give them a rinse, you could throw them in, warm them up. If you wanted to as well, you could take some, I've got some salmon here, I've got some tuna here, you could have any kind of fish on the side. Obviously this is taking it out of being Meatless Monday, but that's okay, it doesn't matter. And then also, I just did a bunch of hard-boiled eggs, soft-boiled eggs. I do like an 8-minute boiled egg. Then that's what I've got here. They were just cooling. And these guys would be perfect to put on the side, throw on top, or whatever you would like to do. You can also make a fried egg. That would be super quick for this. There we go. So this is looking delish. Lost one bit. So because I'm using cast iron here, then it holds the heat a lot more, so you can really super heat it up. But look how vibrant those greens are. Now if you have somebody who's a little more resistant to some greens, then you just have to try it out. You just gotta try and see at what point are you not getting pushback. So sometimes spinach, when spinach is overcooked, I don't know, it sort of makes your teeth feel funny. Have you ever had that before? So one of my daughters has a hard time with greens, but she does eat them, and it depends on, and that's kind of where this recipe came from, because she doesn't love them so much. I'm scraping to the bottom because of all the lovely garlic that's in there. Let's turn that off so I don't burn anything else. So these greens, just maybe a touch overdone, but that's okay. And then I'm gonna take my dressing and pour a small amount on top, and then toss it. So this is definitely something, Logan, can you just, there's just a call coming through on that one. That's it. Thank you. Oh, we've lost Instagram. Whoops. So I'm just gonna pour a little bit on to there. Sorry about that, Instagram. I hope you're still with me. I'm never sure what happens with that. Can you just let your dad know, sweetheart? Yeah. Thanks. So I'm just gonna toss that, and that's pretty much it. Taste it, see what you think. If you like a little bit extra dressing on your greens, like really, they don't need to be this cooked. They could still be pretty big and poofy if you want. He just called on that one. Sorry about that. I just had to reject a call. So I can taste it and see how it is. It's so good. The first thing that gets me is a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of sweetness, and then a really smooth situation from the miso. So this, can you see, like, look how small that is now. So you really need a lot. If you've bought some kale and you're like, I do not know what to do with this kale, wilt these greens to anything, and then you can use the dressing. So I'm gonna put this dressing into another jar. I'm gonna label it so that I don't get confused with my coconut milk, and make sure that we use it. We'll pour it on top of anything. I'll use it as salad dressing on some raw greens or anything that's raw that I fancy using. But the greens are so important. They're huge for fiber. Better, in some cases, better calcium because of the absorption of the calcium from the greens, from the actual plant, as opposed to just trying to take it from something like milk, which sometimes doesn't have the best absorption depending on what milk you're having. So if you've got any questions, please stick them below. If there's anything that you would like me to make in future, I'm more than happy to do that too. Otherwise, I haven't planned out the whole way. Oh, curry quinoa salad. That's what's coming up tomorrow. If you have any leftover chicken, we're gonna put that in there. I don't think I do actually. Maybe I have a little bit, but yeah, it can be another meatless, really high protein meal that we can have too. So yeah, I will see you tomorrow. Remember to go to sproutright.com/cook together so that you can get the email of the actual recipe that I'm cooking every day. Earlier in the day on social media, I will post the ingredients that you're going to need. And yeah, what else are we going to talk about? I don't know. We'll find something else to talk about tomorrow, whatever it is that you need to know a little bit more about. Oh, podcast. That just came out today on food waste. So I did actually talk about this in the today's episode that just came out this morning of Eat This with Leanne. So make sure you subscribe. Head over to iTunes, to iHeartRadio app, to Spotify, leannephillipson.com. You can also get it from there. If you're not too sure how to listen to a podcast, go to leannephillipson.com, click on the blog post link, and then within that, you can just hit a link and just go straight to Eat This with Leanne. It makes it far easier than trying to navigate your way through iTunes and search for it, because you do need to search for Eat This with Leanne. There's a couple of Eat Thises out there, so we just tack that on to make it easy to find. Thanks so much for tuning in today, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow for the curry quinoa salad. See you then. Bye.